Hello, everybody. And welcome back to Tales from the Dancing Moon. We were doing this, which means we needed to do this. And yeah, we're finishing this today before Wasteland 3. Don't remember what else there is I needed to do. Okay. So we're gonna move quickly. Oswin, quick! I saw someone steal an artifact. If you go outside, you might be able to catch them. Oh gosh, not again, Emma. I will lock the door to the museum whilst we search outside. Right, let's go. Rush. Got 40-ish seconds. Squeeze through. Shit. Run. Come on. Squeeze through. Oswin thinks you're in the plaza searching for the thief. He hasn't returned and has left the museum unoccupied. Little does he know you used a secret underground passage leading from the town hall directly into the museum. Now is your best chance to take the necklace and bring it back to Alexis. return the necklace. Whee. Let's go. Did you know there's a secret tunnel network underneath the village? I didn't, or at least I don't remember. If I did, I probably would have told you. I assume it may have been helpful with retrieving the necklace? It was. You feel a tingling sensation through your wrist as you take the necklace out of your inventory. The moment it meets the air of the cave, you can hear a low hum emanating from the locket attached to it. Suddenly a sharp force knocks the locket to the side, swinging the chain you're grasping to the side and curling up across your wrist. It happens again and again and again. You're gripping as hard as you can to keep it under control. You manage to hold it up in front of Alexis, whose eyes are concentrating on it. You see the locket shimmer, its physicality appears to split in two. As a ghostly version of it dances around your hand and around Alexis. After a moment, it calms. You remain gripped onto the chain with your hand, and the locket in your other hand is still vibrating with a quiet energy. It knows. It knows? It knew I held it before. I can sense it wanting to be with me, but it can't. It's like it's confused between your physical world and my whatever this is. Alexis gestures at herself and around her. What do you suggest we do now? As you ask this question, you hear the low rumbling again of stone moving. The statues around you are shifting again. Ra's a statue. It's reacting to what we are doing again. I think we need to keep going. As for the necklace, keep it safe. I have a feeling it might be useful still. I can remember more than I have ever done now, but it's no use to me in my ghostly form. I don't know why, but I feel driven to rebuild the statues. It's like visions are talking to me specifically. But what can we do to help them? I don't know. The visions. I think that might be a clue. Are you able to see them again when you approach them? As for me, I can try to tell you all I can remember about my friends. It might give you a better idea. I had a feeling this won't be easy. It wouldn't be easy, but okay. We finished Act 3. Does anybody else have quests? Sky does. Let's go do Sky's quest. We'll just fast travel. Yeah. What do you have in mind? There are 3 leads I have in regards to these portals. First are the Shadow Beasts themselves. We already know they have their own means of travel using portals. Hey, Amelie. And we have our very own portal that you have destroyed on Wormstail Island. How are we doing today? The second lead are the Magisters. You have already met Magister Graham, correct? Supposedly the last remaining survivor of the Magister group. Supposedly? I have some suspicions that Graham hasn't been entirely truthful. Or at least, he may not be aware of his own ignorance. Do you think there are still more Magisters around? Possibly. But we will get to that when the time comes. Aside from that, in the past I believe that they had their own form of teleportation, but they had kept them secret from the citizens of Ilisol. The third are the Dewbugs. a mysterious yet sophisticated creature who liked to remain hidden even before the Shadow Beasts arrived. Their sightings have increased recently, and based on that, I have reason to believe they may have their own ways of portal travel. What shall we do first? Let's start with the Shadow Beasts. Your first port of call is returning to the Shadow Beast portal on the island here and investigate with your newfound knowledge of Ilisor. Aside from that, I will need the remains of various Shadow Beasts in the surrounding area. I would come with you, but I can't afford to lose my position here in the event another energy signal or something else happens on the island. Understood. I will come back with the resources you need. Alright, let's go to the portal. I do know what mooning is. I have never done it. I find it distasteful. What remains of the Shadow Base portal after blowing it up to smithereens? Sky has asked you to look for more clues regarding the portal, but what exactly is she looking for? It is unclear to you what she might need in your current state. The Tea of Sensing gives you a new sense of clarity as you approach the Shadow Beast portal. A faint whisper of energy can be seen trailing off from the scorch marks found on the edges of the blast zone. Beneath them, you notice what looks to be small traces of Shadow Beast sludge. It looks different to the sludge you have encountered before. You kneel down and give it a small prod, leaving a slight tingling sensation in your fingers. Taking note, you feel you haven't found enough information here to report back to Sky. Shadow sludge, shadow fiber, I have plenty of those. Just gotta head back. Why, did you get mooned or something, Millie? I researched into the Shadow Beast for you. Perfect. What did you find? There is an interesting substance surrounding the portal on the island. I've brought the remains of various Shadow Beasts from the Dewyland Meadows and the Non-Eyed Desert. Ah, the title joke I didn't see. Right. Okay. I gotcha. This is a great start, Emma. I'll get to work on these right away. In the meantime, let's look to our next objective, the Magisters. Graham always kept tight-lipped about the goings-on with the Magisters, but after the recent events and his current state, I don't think he has much to lose on sharing his knowledge. Ask him if the Magisters knew anything about teleportation and report back to me with what you learn. You may need to be persuasive. Will do. Let's go. There he is. I've heard that the Magisters had their own ways of travelling around. Is there anything you could tell me about that? Graham raises a brow. What exactly do you mean, Emma? I'm talking about teleportation. Graham sighs. Sky has put you up to this, hasn't she? She has been asking more and more questions recently since your arrival. So the Magisters did have a way to teleport? Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. What do you mean? The Magisters were capable of many things, with each of us honing our own particular ability. Teleportation, however, was an extremely rare gift to have. Only one Magister has ever been known to have such an ability. Who was this Magister? Sebastian was his name. Sadly, another who perished during the Shadow Invasion. He was a very talented and focused individual. Spent a lot of time studying his powers in order to understand more from it. I'm afraid that's all I know of it, Emma. Sebastian could indeed teleport. It just never really became much more than that for the rest of the Magisters. Do you know if there's anything he's still here from his studies? If there is anything, it would have to have been in the old libraries of the Magister's Temple. You can find it in the ruins on the west side of this area. I haven't thought to look until you just asked, but feel free to take a look yourself. Thank you. So it'll be down here somewhere. Sebastian's diary. Let's read it. Yes, it is eligible. Sebastian came from another world. Take a look at this. It looks like Sebastian's writing. It's a shame much of it is burnt from the wreckage. Let me see. Graham squints his eyes as he pores over the text. I don't see much about portals here, but... Wait, I don't understand. What do you mean? It mentions the teenagers, who I can only assume to be that of James, Desmond, Ross, and Andrew. Graham's eyelids close slightly as he gently runs his fingertips across the page. Yet this journal is old. Very old. Written long before the Magisters were even aware of those teenagers. How did he know them? Very strange. Sounds like Sebastian was hiding something. Graham rubs his hand across the back of his neck. You can tell this information has stirred some thoughts within him. He follows it with a sigh. Regardless, it is too late to know. Sebastian fell during the Shadow Beast invasion. Keep his journal, Emma. Perhaps it will be useful in understanding all of this mess. I hope Sky thinks so at least. Thank you. Yay. Graham implied that a fellow Magister by the name of Sebastian could teleport using his own abilities. I knew it. Sebastian. Funny he should mention his name. Funny? Remember I said before that Graham thinks he's the last remaining Magister? I have a feeling that Sebastian might still be out there somewhere. What makes you say that? Remember that I have my own abilities, Emma. I can just sense something is going on here. Besides, if he can teleport, we have reason to believe he could have just teleported to safety during the Shadow Beast invasion. No, I think he's still out there somewhere. There's more. I found an old journal from Sebastian. I hoped it would describe his studies, but instead it only led to more questions. Even more reason to be suspicious. If you can find any evidence that Sebastian is out there, then report back to me, whether that be his belongings or diary pages. In the meantime, however, let's move on to our third lead, the Dewbugs. What are Dewbugs again? Dewbugs are a sophisticated society of beings who mostly reside in large trees grown across the land. They keep to themselves for the most part and have only shown themselves under extremely dire circumstances. What business do they have in all this? Well, the nearest Dewbug society resided in a tree just outside of Illusaur toward the mountains. The Shadow Beasts ruined that particular tree during the invasion, and the Dewbugs have scattered since. I've heard of Dewbug sightings in the eastern regions. no doubt finding a new tree to colonize after their last one fell. My concern, however, lies in just how far they've been traveling. It's quite uncommon for them to travel over large distances. Let me guess, you think portals are involved? Exactly. If you can find anything to the east that shows evidence of unusual portal activity, bring it to me and it will greatly help with my research. Will do. Alright, now we go talk to, what's his face? Mural? And we'll start with the Deweyland Meadow. And I'd like to step outside. There we go. Alright, turn back to the other side. I'm back with some dewbug portal evidence. Let's see, Emma. You show your phone screen to Sky, who does not seem to be at all surprised by the device. These markings, they are not like the other portals. How did you come across these? Quinn's delivery man went missing a while ago, and encountered the portals you see here. Interesting. The portals themselves look like they have traces of shadow uses. Yet the markings are sophisticated and quite intricate. Perhaps the dewbugs knew how to change these portals for their own use. What's next? This is a lot of new information, Emma. The shadow portal, Sebastian's teleportation powers, the dewbug's ability to manipulate existing portals. I need to connect the dots between these. I have an idea, but speak to me tomorrow, Emma. I am hoping to have something substantial to show you in that time. Very well. I look forward to it. Yay. We'll go sleep. We are close to being done. We don't have any more crops growing. Food. And now we wait 17 hours. Research coming along. You have arrived at good time, Emma. I'm just about to attempt my latest experiment. How about you stay and watch? Go for it. Sky takes a small stone from the table in front of her and casually steps over to the contraption with the floating blue orbs that are gently rising up and down. A large cylindrical tank sits nearby. It is filled with dark shadow sludge gathered for her. She swiftly equips a pair of protective goggles. You might want to step back a bit, Emma. You take a few steps back and watch. Sky opens the palm of her hand, revealing the stone as it lazily drifts through the air to join the largest floating orb. The stone starts to spin within the center of the largest orb, and the shadow sludge starts to deplete in the tank as it spins faster and faster. Sky is watching in eager anticipation. He can't help but join her. After an eerily long time, the spinning stops. The stone shoots itself out of the orb, and Sky swiftly catches it. You don't need the tea of sensing to detect a powerful aura from the new etchings that can be found upon it. Etchings that look just like the one found on the debug portals. Before either of you speak further, the low rumbling noise can be felt coming from the bright beams of light in the distance. Huh? Do you hear that? That noise? What is it? It's coming from the island. Yet as soon as either of you think to investigate, the distant rumbling stops. The island. It responded to the work I was doing. You're on the right track, Emma. What about this stone? What have you done to it? Sky takes the stone from the pedestal and flips it over a few times in her hand. Just like how Roz could brew tea with different abilities, it seems the debugs had similar ways with portals. I may not know how far Sebastian got with his studies, but the combination of all these things has got us closer to understanding more ourselves. Look. Sky grasps the stone tightly. In a flash, you can see the space surrounding her collapse on itself. She disappears for a brief moment before reappearing a few meters to the side. Sky flicks the stone into the air using the nail of her thumb. It arcs over towards you, turning in the air a few times before you catch it. Here, take it, for all the help you've been. I'm sure you'll find it useful during your travels here. What happens now? The teenagers, yourself, the shadow beasts, and now possibly Sebastian. It's all connected somehow. As I said before, Emma, we need to find those teenagers before we can truly understand what's going on here. Very well. And we can now do a more effective fast travel. There's no other side quests. Alright, to the cave. You reach out your hand to the statue whilst the new vision engulfs you. You're at the top of the mountain, near the area of the Magister's ruins. Put yourself in a state of focus and scan the area and notice a shimmering aura within the air and the flora surrounding you. You look down and see yourself as Roz. The vision changes and you are standing next to Magister Graham. A set of equipment for brewing tea sits between you both, and a basket of various herbs and leaves nearby. You're both excited to experiment. The vision changes again and you're back in the plaza. A wooden cart sits next to you as you prepare various teas for the villagers. People are happy and excited to see you. This feeling of being needed and welcomed becomes familiar to you. Suddenly a cry is heard in the distance. A wretched inhuman call that sends panic through the central plaza. A shadow beast, you ask yourself? The vision swells and evaporates the moment it occurs, leaving you standing in a mysterious cave again. Is there anything else you remember about Roz? I can see her so clearly now from the statue. When we arrived in Illusor, each of us developed these special abilities. For Roz and I could sense energy coming from the flora around us. For me, though, it reached beyond that. I could see the energy from other things too, like the necklace. I don't remember how long we spent in Illusor. It felt like months. The seasons kept changing, but time seemed to move different here than it did back home. After we harnessed our powers to make special tea, I think she found a sense of purpose and belonging here. After all that time, I still just wanted to find a way back home. I'm not sure I could have said the same for Roz. It was difficult. It felt like the first time we had a true difference of opinion in life. She felt fine staying in Illusaur, and I just wanted to see my family back in our own world. You can sense that our Alexis is reaching the limits of her memories. I know there's more, Emma, but the memories are not there yet. Perhaps the other statues will provide answers. Thank you, Alexis. A large stone archway rose from the ground as the last statue restored itself. It waits there, expecting something from you. Talking to Alexis may help you understand what to do next. Do you see this stone archway? Yes, there's something familiar about it. Like I've seen it before. Looks like there's some etching on each of the pillars on the sides. Did you take a look? I can't see them clearly in this form. I will take a look. A lunch bowl set on a pedestal. It's empty, but a familiar smell of tea lingers in the air around it. A bust, very similar to the one which held the necklace you took from Oswin's museum. Wear the amulet of power and drink the tea of invisibility? Yes. Hello, Emma. Alexis, I can see you. Yes, I remember now. The invisibility tea, the amulet of power. These things were calling out to me for a reason. And I was asking you to get them for me. At first I thought it was just my memories, but I realize it's more than that now. Where are we? What is this place? This is where I've been this whole time, stuck between two places. A dark void. Alexis turns towards the back of the cave. This portal hasn't always been here, Emma. It appeared just as you arrived. I think this is it, Emma. I can tell you everything I know, but instead of telling you, I think it's better if I show you. Are you suggesting what I think you're suggesting? It's worth knowing that my story ended the moment I got stuck in this place. As for James, Roz, Desmond, and Andrew, and the villagers of Illusaur, the fact that no one knows who I am. I'm scared about what this means. I have these memories, but who I am really? Or who am I really? Am I real? What I'm saying is, you're not the only one who has answers beyond this door. And I can only show you what happened up to a certain point. If you get answers from the other side, then I'm sure I will too. Let's hope so, Emma. Are you ready? I'm ready when you are. Let's go. You stepped into the portal and found yourself in a dark and mysterious place. You see Alexis ahead of you. It would be catching up to her again. There they are on a train. Stop hugging all the sweets, James. I'm hungry. If you're hungry, then eat some proper food. You won't get a full stomach on just eating chocolate and Haribo. But the sandwiches on the train are so expensive. Will you two stop bickering? Will you two stop? You've been bickering for the last 3 hours. It's annoying. Fine, fine. As you spend so much time with Roz, why don't you control her, Alexis? James makes a whipping gesture with his hand. Roz pecks her tongue out at James and blows a raspberry. Andrew rolls his eyes, but no one notices. Where are we going anyway? What's the plan? Didn't you read Desmond's Facebook message? We're going straight to Swansea, you know? Where he went to university. He's meeting us at the train station though. Good thing too, because I couldn't be bothered to look up the directions to his flight or the uni. We wouldn't want to get stuck out in this miserable weather either. Once we settle in, we'll shoot the shit. Catch up, have a few drinks, probe Des on his latest love interests. I haven't seen him in so long. How long has it been now? 3 years. 3 years since we left college and went our separate ways for uni. I've missed you guys. The whole group takes a moment to digest the realization. Anyway, Des has this whole week of planned spots lined up for us. Proper summer holiday. Apparently he's gotten super into hiking recently and wants to take us to a nearby coastal village. Rosili, is it? Rosolo? Rosili. Yeah, Rosili. That's it. Anyway, apparently there's some island off the shore that you can only access at certain times due to changing tides. Dez wants to go check it out after we explore the village. That's why he's asked us to bring our camping and hiking gear. The island is called Worm's Head Island. Andrew says this with a slight hesitation in his voice. Thank you, Mr. Booksmarts. Are you nervous, Andrew? You came prepared, right? Oh, don't be mean, James. We'll be okay, right, Lexi? Rose turns to Alexis. You sense she also has a nervousness about her, and has turned to her friend for reassurance. Of course, we'll just have to be careful. Everything is going to be okay. And this is when they're in Illusaur. Lexi, look over here. Roz hurries over to a small shrub that's situated in a small clearing in what you recognize to be the Deweyland Meadows. You can sense an aura emitting from its leaves. Do you see it? Alexis catches up behind her, slightly out of breath. You get the sense Roz has a lot of energy stored inside her smaller figure. She crouches down beside Roz, and her eyes widen as she observes the energy emitting from the shrub. It's beautiful. Rose flips open a small jar, tears off some of the leaves and secures it inside. We've been seeing this energy ever since we arrived in Illusaur. You have no idea how relieving it is that we can both see it. I thought I was going mad. This is exactly the sort of thing Graham is asking us to look out for. Just think of the possibilities of what we can create. Alexis grabs her own jar and tears a few leaves herself. She doesn't respond to what Roz, her mind being elsewhere. What is it, Lexi? Oh, nothing. She forces a smile at her friend. Lexi, come on. I've been your best friend ever since we were 10. I know when something is wrong. Oh, alright then. Nothing gets past you, does it? It's just, ever since we received these abilities, I feel like everyone has just forgotten about home. James almost seems like a completely different person after learning about his. His power is pretty cool though. Rose lifts her hand up and pretends to start moving a nearby tree with her mind. She makes some swishing noises with her breath. Alexis lets out a small, nervous laugh. That's not the point, Rose. I'm just worried we're beginning to lose sight of what really matters here. I want to go home. I want to see my family. Feels like everyone has forgotten that. Rose puts her jar away and sits firmly on the grass. She lets herself fall backward as she lies on her back, resting her head in her hands. She lets out a long sigh as she gazes up at the sky. How long have we been here now? Alexis mirrors Rose's actions and lies down too. She kicks off her shoes, letting the grass tickle the heels of her bare feet. I don't know, 2 or 3 months maybe? Feels like a lifetime. We should ask Andrew. I'm sure he's been keeping track in that diary of his. I do wonder what he writes about all day. Alexis deepens her voice, imitating that of Andrew's. Dear diary, Roz annoyed me again today. She put magical tea leaves all over my bed last night and I woke up with a hairy bum. Roz lets out a hearty giggle. Dear diary, I really fancy Alexis. She's so pretty. Much better than ugly Roz. Murr, murr, murr. Alexis and Roz continue to banter before falling silent, spending a moment gazing up at the clouds in the sky. It's not that we've forgotten Lexi. It's just, if we could find a way back home, then I think we would have found it by now, don't you think? The Magisters, these abilities, it gives us something to focus on whilst we figure that out. We may as well have fun here while it lasts, no? I guess so. Don't you think we could use these powers to find a way home, though? Yes, I do, but we'll only be able to find out if we get better at them, and for that we need the Magisters. Alexis sighs. Why has this become so complicated? I know you're not as close to him as the others, but have you spoken to Andrew? I can't begin to wonder how he feels being the only one without a power. I'd say he's probably more eager to get home than you are. You're right. Well, maybe I'll chat to him. A moment passes as the two of them lay in silence on the floor, enjoying the nature that surrounds them. Despite everything, it really is beautiful here. Roz smiles. Another moment passes before she sits up again. It's getting dark. We should probably head back. Alexis sits up and puts her shoes back on. She watches Roz meanders away from her back towards the village. She lets Roz walk ahead of her as she processes her thoughts. She is left feeling uncertain over their conversation. Alexis is carrying a tray of freshly made tea. You recognize the aroma as the steam emits from the pot. She gently and carefully places it on a central table in which the teenagers are sitting around. I thought we'd play a little game. We just made a fresh batch of tea. Something very special, Sir Graham says. We haven't told you what it is, but we thought we should all try it together. Guys, I don't know about this. Oh, don't be such a spoil-sport, Andrew. Let's have some fun, shall we? We all know drinking this stuff is temporary anyway. I know you'd be up for it, James. Okay, who's first? Oh, you mean we won't drink it all together at the same time? We think it will be better if we take it in turns. Fair enough. Screw it, I'll go first. Yay, go Des! Desmond grabs a mug from the tray. It slowly brings it closer to below his nose, being careful not to spill any of the liquid. He closes his eyes and takes a deep inhale of the steam, taking in the strange and unfamiliar smells. The scent of Roz and Alexis's tea were not like anything he had ever tried from back home. He tilts the mug towards his lips and sips the tea. After a few sips, Desmond rests the mug on his lap. His eyes dart back and forth between his friends as they look on anticipation. He looks down at his hands as tingling sensations creep from his fingertips up to his wrists. It travels up his arms and rests within his heart. His friends look in surprise and awe as Desmond turns completely invisible. Oh my god. What's happened? Desmond, you've disappeared. We can hear you, but we can't see you. Alexis and Roz start giggling. It's contagious, making the rest of them laugh. Andrew's anxiety turns to curiosity. This is incredible. Just think of the opportunities. Alexis, Roz, tell me you haven't told anyone about this yet. Of course not. Can you imagine if this got in the wrong hands? Besides, let's not complicate things just yet. We need to have our fun first. Alexis, your turn. Alexis takes a mug from the tray. Following Desmond's actions, she takes a few sniffs before taking a large sip of the tea. She experiences the same tingling sensation before becoming invisible. Suddenly, the lights in the room begin to flicker in her vision, and the laughter of her friends fade in and out, as if tuning into a faulty radio signal. The cozy room of the inn disappears around her. Alexis's eyes widen as she submits to the shocking darkness. Her senses adjust to the new surroundings. She feels a rush of wind soaring upwards from beneath her. Was she falling? Her heart shoots into her throat as panic starts to overdrive. Her eyes adjust, with the only source of light coming from a blanket of twinkly stars and a dazzling full moon above her. She tilts her body forward to see below her, just as a crack of lightning illuminates everything around her. She was falling from a great distance in the air. In the distance, she catches the small village of Rossili, lit up by a scattering of streetlights and windows. Directly beneath her, she recognizes the island that she and her friends hiked to before finding themselves lost in Illusor. Between the two, a menacing and roaring ocean churns angrily. Was she back? Was this home? Just as the questions and panic overwhelmed her, the laughter of her friends tuned back into her senses, and the cozy room crept back into her vision. She blinks, only to find herself firmly planted on the wooden floor with her friends gleefully smiling back at her. Where have you gone, Alexis? You've gone invisible too. Alexis is stunned as she processes what she just experienced. She doesn't respond to her friends, and her invisibility wears off after a few moments whilst they banter amongst themselves. Alexis? Alexis, are you okay? Got you. The rest of the group erupt in contagious laughter and continue sharing the drinks around themselves. Roz went next, then James, then finally Andrew. Alexis watched as they all drank. None of them experienced the same sensations she felt, leaving her confused over what she just experienced. Andrew is stepping across the large desert rock. He is very out of breath. Tell us again, James, why we are doing this? You have a tendency to ask silly questions, Andrew. Don't be mean, James. Option 0. Fine. As I said before, one of the shipments Fergus is expecting for the inn didn't arrive. I offered to go to help go and find it. And that means hiking through the desert with little to no water or supplies. It's a shortcut. We're heading to the Stocknell village just past here. That's where the shipment would have come from. We should keep an eye on the roads from up here to see if we can spot any trouble. If we need to keep an eye on the roads, couldn't we have travelled on the roads? James ignores Andrew's statement. I'm with Andrew on this one, James. This was a silly idea. Ugh, fine. When did you all use your fun, eh? James stomps ahead in front of the group and he doesn't appear as tired as the others. Are you okay, Lexi? Alexis stops and stretches her back and clicks in a few places which she shakes off to loosen up. Yes, I'm fine. You know, I'm quite enjoying this walk, actually. Roz reaches down to a large rock in front of her and starts climbing. Ugh, that makes one of us. Yeah, I made it. Hooray! Before Alexis follows Roz up the rock, she notices a strange object in the corner of her eye. Hey, wait, what's this? She backtracks and kneels down in front of the object. Is this a life buoy? Did anyone bring this with them? Roz turns around to get a peek and shrugs from a distance. What the hell is this doing here? Did this come from back home? James ignores it. James notices that Alexis has found something and shouts from a distance. What is it, Alexis? What have you found? It's a life buoy. You know those rings you throw out to sea when you spot someone drowning. A what? Alexis rolls her eyes. She said it's a life buoy. What do you think it's doing here? I don't know. Hang on, let me take a look. James stays in position but raises his hands in front of him. You can see a shimmer of energy form around him as he gets his powers to work. Kneeling beside the life buoy, Alexis starts to see it vibrate as it reacts to James's telekinetic powers. It hovers in the air for a brief moment as James focuses on it. Suddenly, a creaking noise can be heard from above. The energy from James's powers ricochet from the surrounding rocks and hits the base of the tree that leans over Alexis. Oh shit! The tree splits at the base, and without another moment to react, it falls towards Alexis. Yee, watch out! Alexis rolls out of the way, but the tree smashes into the side of her shoulder, causing a stunning shock to pass through her body. Ah, shit. With a surge of adrenaline, James turns his attention fully on the tree and snaps his hands into position. The tree locks into place and hovers just above Alexis, preventing it from fully crushing her. He moves it away and gently places it on the ground. They all rush over to Alexis to make sure she is okay. Are you okay, Lexi? She turns her attention to James. You didn't have to use your ability, James. You could have just walked over here and had a look. Jeez, I'm so sorry. I don't know what else to say. Alexis doesn't say a word. You get the impression this isn't the first instance of something like this happening. She stands up, rubbing her shoulder from the pain. She doesn't have the energy to argue anymore. Let's just move on, shall we? Forget it ever happened. Desmond sighs and shakes his head in a solemn way. Andrew watches all this from a bit of a distance. He is weary of what has become of his friends. The dynamic between them has changed recently. He makes a mental note to jot this down in his diary later. He picks up the life buoy and inspects it, flipping it over a few times. It really is just the life buoy, but how did it get here? His friends have started moving again. Their journey continues. Is this going to end soon? So many cutscene things. Oswald is standing at his counter like usual. He sways side to side on the spot as his mind drifts. He sighs. You can just about see Alexis crouching in the corner of the museum. She's hiding from Oswald, who is completely unaware of her presence there. Her hair is messy and dirty, and her clothes are torn in a few places. Phew, I made it. That passage from the town hall proved useful after all. Alexis squints her eyes as she tries to look past Oswald. You can't tell if she's muttering to herself, or you can listen to her thoughts through the memory. You can just about see it now. I knew it. There's a powerful aura coming from that necklace. I thought I remembered seeing it the first time we came here. Just wasn't sure what it was before we knew about our abilities. I need it. I just need to find a way past Oswald. Oswald steps out of his usual spot and wanders over to the bust with the necklace. He smiles fondly at his most prized possession, reassured that after another hard day of work, it's exactly where it should be. Alexis is keeping her attention laser focused on Oswald and the necklace, watching and nervously hovering in case she needs to move. Come on, Oswald, it's getting late. You should be going home by now. Oswald drifts back to the front counter and sits himself down. He rests his chin on the palm of his hands. His eyes begin to droop. Are you kidding me? I can't do this whilst you're still here. It's too risky. Alexis fumbles in her pockets and produces a small vial of some tea. I was hoping I wouldn't have to use this. She pulls the cork out of the vial and takes a few sips of the tea. She waits for a moment before coming to a realization. The invisibility. It's not working? Why is it not working? Ah, damn it. Okay, plan B. She takes out a second vial of tea and takes a few sips. She clears her throat very quietly as she prepares herself. Help me. Can someone help me? I'm being attacked. You see Alexis mouth the words, but the sound doesn't come from her. It comes from somewhere outside the museum. Oswald's head suddenly droops past his hand and then suddenly lurches upright. Startled by the noise, he springs up from his chair. He looks around frantically and then runs out of the museum to search for the person in need. Now's my chance. Carefully and quietly, Alexis shuffles into the main hallway, past the front desk, and into the room with the bust and the necklace. She positions herself next to it, so if Oswald came back, she would still be hidden. After one last look around, she grabs the chain of the necklace and lifts it over the bust's head. With the necklace now in her hands, she looks greedily at it and reads the inscription to herself. May this necklace provide power and luck to those who need it the most. Perfect. Alexis doesn't notice the invisibility tea pulsing with a magnificent glow in her pocket. Okay, time to go. She stuffs the necklace in her pocket and shuffles back to the other side of the museum. She creeps over to the corner towards the secret passage and slips out of sight. Alexis is standing by the edge of a cliff. You recognize it as Wormstail Island, near the lighthouse. Well, here we are, Alexis. All this hard work has led to this moment. She takes Oswald's necklace out of her pocket. You can see the aura reflecting in Alexis's wide eyes as she looks down at it. She lifts it up and drapes it over her own head, the locket resting neatly on her chest, her heart pounding. She takes out a vial of tea from another pocket. You recognize it as the invisibility tea. Alexis holds it firmly in her hand. For a moment, you think she is frozen still, but she is just processing the thoughts in her head. I hope I'm correct, but the only way to really know is if I try it. The others wouldn't understand. They're too wrapped up in their new powers. These abilities have changed us, but not me. I just want to go home. Tears begin to form in her eyes. They don't see what I see when I'm drinking the invisibility tea. Only I can do it this way. Alexis removes the cork from the invisibility tea. She braces herself whilst gripping onto the necklace with her other hand. Without another moment of hesitation, she gulps down the entire contents of the tea. See you on the other side, I hope. She erased herself from time. Alexis? Yes, it's me. Where are we? What just happened here? I don't know where we are, but what you just witnessed were my moments of my time in Illusaur. My memories. Is there anything in particular you want to ask? How did you and your friends end up in Illusaur? Each of us had just finished university. Desmond came up with the idea of having one last summer holiday and invited us to Swansea, where he was finishing his studies. We went to a village nearby called Rossili. It had this lovely beach and an island you could hike to just off the shore. But you had to wait until the tide was low in order for the path to reveal itself. Desmond and James suggested we hike across, but we timed it all wrong. When we got to the other side, the tide came up again and we were stuck on the other side. We had to wait until the tide went back down again. But after it did, everything had changed. I don't know how, but we found ourselves in another place, lost in Illusaur. What did you see when you drank the invisibility tea? It turns out it wasn't a tea of invisibility after all. When I drank it, I could see temporary visions of home. It changed depending on where I was when I drank it. When I drank it for the first time around that table with my friends, I was terrified. I was above a roaring ocean with no land in sight. Other times I saw roads or children in a playground or aeroplanes, all things you could only really see back at home. For some reason it only affected me in this way. For my friends, it really was just a way to become invisible. For me, it was a ticket to get back home. I became obsessed. I kept drinking it just in case I'd be able to see my mum or anything really that could connect me to home. And what's the deal with Oswin's necklace? No one really knows where it came from, not even Oswin himself. I just knew the moment I saw it that it held immense power. We visited the museum during our first week in Illusaur, and I could see the aura already. I just didn't understand what it meant until we met the Magisters. As time went on, I was drawn more and more towards it. The necklace enhanced the power of anything the wearer was doing. I thought that by drinking the invisibility tea whilst wearing the necklace, it would transport me fully back home, but... Alexis sighs. But it didn't work. No, it's all clear now. The power of the tea and the necklace didn't just remove me from Illusaur, it removed me from time itself. The Illusaur that you explored, my friends that you read about through Andrew's diaries, they're all versions of things where I didn't exist, where my friends have no idea who I am, and it's all my fault. Why didn't you tell your friends what you planned on doing? I don't know. It seems foolish in hindsight, doesn't it? I think a part of me was angry or confused. Everyone was having so much fun in Illusaur, befriending the villagers, the powers, the magisters, everything. I felt like the only one who kept thinking about her. I felt alone. What do you want to do now? This is where my story goes up to, but it looks like there is more to see. Let's continue the path. Okay. And we've got more to see. The teenagers are in a clearing. They surround a decorative stone in the center. Magister Graham is with them. This place looks like the Magister's temple, intact before the Shadow Beast invasion. Alexis is not there. Her friends are unaware of her disappearance. You have done well, all of you. It hasn't even been a year since you arrived in Illusaur, and you have all surpassed your expectations. James, I have heard from numerous people in the village that you have helped them with all sorts of jobs using your telekinetic powers. James gives Magister Graham a knowing nod and a smile. Roz, your tea-brewing skills have treated ailments and provided entertaining mischief. Not knowing how to act, Roz grins and gives a peace sign to the others. Desmond, your patience, insight, and responsibility with your abilities has impressed all of the Magisters here. Magister Graham meets Andrew's gaze very briefly but turns away. Andrew exhales noisily through his nose, letting everyone know of his amusement. Graham continues. And with that, I have good news and bad news. The good news is you have all learnt as much as we can offer you. Stretch. What you discover with your powers and how you use them is entirely up to you now. The bad news is, despite all this time, we still haven't discovered a way for you to return home. Above all this, however, is the situation of the Shadow Beasts. If the rumors are true, and if our Magister's predictions are correct, then I fear that the Shadow invasion will strike Illusaur very soon. Roz whimpers as Graham says these words. She turns to James and Desmond for reassurance. Andrew rolls his eyes. Oh, for God's sake. Do you honestly think this is all real? These Shadow Beasts you keep talking about? Has anyone actually ever seen one? What have we got to do with all this? I just want to go home. After the sudden outburst, Andrew winces as he feels a slight twinge of pain in his head. Graham looks at Andrew. He doesn't respond or react to his outburst. The other teenagers look amongst themselves, hesitant to proceed. James looks down at his hands, energy pulsing from one to the other. Magister Graham, I am ready to fight if I have to. Andrew lets out a heavy sigh. He angrily storms off, away from the Magister's temple. James, Desmond, and Roz are relaxing in one of the rooms of the Dancing Moon. How do we convince Andrew about the plans? James, we can't force him to go along with this. It's his choice. You keep forgetting he's the only one of us who hasn't exactly adapted well to being here. Roz is right on this one, James. There's nothing we can really do about it. Suddenly, a loud crash and noise can be heard from outside. James springs to action and looks out of the window facing the east side of the village. A chorus of screams follows after. There's people running. Quick, let's go see what's going on. James, Desmond, and Roz leap down the stairs and out of the Dancing Moon. They enter the plaza where there is a mixture of confusion and panic amongst the villagers. Shortly after, Andrew joins them with equal concern. What's going on? From the east, a disturbing sound can be heard, the noise of squelching and oozing. They all run towards it, and the cause of the commotion seeping through the eastern gates. Ew, what is it? Is this what the Magisters have been talking about? Are these Shadow Beasts? Andrew takes a worrying step back. What do we do? Get behind me. James steps forward as the Shadow Beasts form themselves. 3 large blob-like creatures menacingly undulate in front of them. James raises his hands in a swelling motion. His telekinetic energy starts building within them. Just as the blob closest to him pounces forward, James lunges his hands forward and as a mass of energy catapults from his hands towards the creature. It smashes into the creature's side, causing the surface of it to split and collapse. The shadow blob collapses like a deflating balloon until it lays motionless on the floor. Satisfied, James turns his attention to the other shadow blobs. His left hand towards one of them, his right hand towards the other. He shoots a similar massive energy towards them both, and witnesses them collapse just like the one before. James breathes heavily, the power's taking a toll on him. Well, that wasn't too hard, was it? The villagers are all looking at the scene with curiosity, as the sense of panic has calmed somewhat. We should go to the Magisters. They'd want to know about this. James nods with agreement and leads the way up to the steps. As he does, he glances at Andrew and gives him an I told you so look. Andrew doesn't notice, as his eyes are still fixated on the shadow blob remains that lay in front of him. The thing that pulls him out of this state is a searing pain that surges through his head. He winces at the discomfort and massages his forehead with the palms of his hands, before following his friends up to the steps. Another diary of Andrew's. You see Andrew sitting at his own desk. There are 2 beds on each side. You recognize it to be a room at the Dancing Moon. You figure that, like you, Fergus has allowed them to stay there. He's writing in his diary. He whispers the words out loud and scribbles them down. The Magisters seem to think the time is near. The recent shadow-based appearances have set them off. They are adamant that something big is going to happen soon. Something big and bad. There's a tense feeling in the air around Illusor. I think the villagers can't decide if they want to evacuate or not. What a mess of a situation. The mayor, of all people, has gone missing too. What great timing. As for James, Ros, and Desmond, I sense a mixture of anxiety and excitement. I think James secretly wants something big to happen so that he can prove himself. I don't really know what to think. After a moment, Andrew stops writing. He crosses his fingers between themselves and stretches his arms upwards, causing his spine to click and clack along its segments. He sighs, pondering the next words to write. In the moment of writer's block, he picks up the diary and flutters the pages back and forth. He settles it on an earlier entry, written at a time before any of this madness in Illusor started. He forces a laugh and begins reading out loud to himself. Desmond hired a van to take us all to Rossili, with the 4 of us. Our hiking gear, and the surfboards he thought it was necessary. He stops reading and appears visibly confused by the words in front of him. The 4 of us. Suddenly he winces as an intense pain surges through his head. He uses the palms of his hands to massage his forehead. Ugh, these damn headaches. When are they going to stop? He focuses on the pages of his diary again. The 4 of us. Me, James, Desmond, Ros, and his head twinges with pain again. Ugh, why does this sound so wrong? Why do I want to say another name? The words on these pages, when I look back at them, they feel so familiar but different. I don't understand. Me, James, Desmond, Ros, and Alex. An intense pain surges through his body, preventing him from finishing the name. In a blind rage of confusion and pain, Andrew picks up the diary and throws it against the wall. A number of pages detach from its spine and billow outwards, causing a flurry of scattered paper to dance around him. The moment the diary made a thud against the wall, a large flash of energy emits from Andrew's hands, causing a reverberating noise to echo through against the walls of the room. The energy shimmers through the air, attaching itself to the diary and its pages. As it touches them, they fade away, as if burned away by an invisible flame. The diary is now gone, and the loose pages are nowhere to be seen. Shaking with shock, Andrew looks down at his hands, the energy fizzling away as he calms himself down. My diary, where? I didn't think. Do I? As he tries to question what happened, he winces as the pain in his head creeps back in. What's happening to me? What's happening to him? Poor Andrew. What do you think is happening to him? When I was in Illusor, Andrew was the only person in our group who didn't develop a power. James could move things with his mind. Desmond could read people's minds. And me and Ros could sense different kinds of energies in the surroundings. I think Andrew always felt a bit lost and alone because of this. But what if, in a version of Illusor where I didn't exist, perhaps things played out differently for him? Desmond always complained about having headaches before he developed his mind-reading powers. Maybe this same thing is happening to Andrew. When I removed myself from Illusor, maybe it triggered something inside of Andrew? It looks like he wants to remember me, but something is preventing him to. There's another portal here. I can only imagine we might find more answers through there. There's one last thing, Emma. I couldn't help but notice this, but in the last few memories here, it showed the Magisters predicting an invasion of shadow beasts, and my friends preparing to fight them. But when you arrived in Illusoy, you found the village in ruins with only a handful of villagers and a single Magister left. I'm almost afraid to ask, but what do you think happened? Whatever happened, I think your friends are still safe. I sure hope you're right, Emma. Whatever happens, you have my eternal gratitude for helping me get my memories back. Anyway, the portal. Shall we proceed? Let's go. Oh. Alexis. Alexis. Is that really you? Andrew? What happened? Am I really here? Do you know who I am still? Andrew places his hands on the side of Alexis's shoulders and stares at her face, taking her appearance all in. He smiles and nods at her reassuringly. Please tell me it's all over, Andrew. Am I safe now? Am I home? Tears form in Andrew's eyes, even though he has an idea. He begins to truly realize what Alexis had been through. You're home. It's over. Andrew, I'm sorry about what you went through. We both tried to find a way out of that place together. But over time we grew distant. I should have told you what I had planned. I found a way using the invisibility tea in the necklace, but it didn't work. I became so lost, I couldn't leave. Andrew nods as she's talking, listening. I wish it played out differently, but what matters is you're back now. After you disappeared, none of us could remember you. It was as if you never existed. You must have felt so alone. I don't think any of us knew the true extent of the power of that necklace. Combined with the tea, you didn't just remove yourself from Illusoy, you removed yourself from time itself. And what about you? We were just able to see what happened after I disappeared. Even in a timeline without you, James, Roz, and Desmond still had their own powers to worry about. More and more I felt like I was on my own, trying to figure out how to get back home whilst all my friends were just happy to have some fun. The Magisters kept a keen interest in their abilities. They were trying to fulfill some kind of prophecy using us as a catalyst. They thought that we would cause the complete downfall of the Shadow Beasts and Illusoy would finally be at peace. Even now, I still don't know what to think. In hindsight, they were all nutters. Smart and powerful nutters. James was up to the task by the Magisters. Gave him fun purpose in Illusoy. And you know you know what people are like around James. And you know what people were like around James. Roz and Desmond followed too. Whilst everyone was preparing, I started getting headaches. I thought there was something wrong with me. Then the Shadow Beasts arrived. I was naive in thinking that the Magisters may be wrong, that they were all some fairy tale myth. James, Roz, and Desmond handled themselves well. Their powers gave them an advantage. Me, on the other hand, with my headaches, I was useless. But then I noticed something in my fear. My headaches became stronger, but at the same time, things started to feel different. I would look at a shadow beast and suddenly it would stop moving, as if frozen in place. Or I'd see another one coming towards me, only to disappear a moment after. I had a power after all. I could manipulate time and space. As the invasion of the shadow beasts waged on, and with my sudden realization of this incredible power that I couldn't control, I could think of only one thing. The thing that both you and I were seeking. Home. We found a shadow beast portal on Wormstail Island, and we thought it was the origin where all these shadow beasts were coming from. James suggested we step through. He thought it would take us to the source of the problem, but it was too much for me. As we stepped through, my powers had a different plan. We found ourselves in a strange place, somewhere completely different. I imagine we were in a place similar to where you've been all this time. It's difficult to really remember. Eventually, things started to fall into place in my mind, and before I knew it, we were back in our own world. In Rossili, on this very island here. We don't know what happened to Illusoy after that, But all that mattered to me was that I was home. I could see my family again. But what about me? How did you remember about me? When we came back home, our powers deteriorated. James, Roz, and Desmond can no longer do the things they were able to before, and they were gutted. But for me, something lingered. Over time, I had this sense that something was missing. I think the nature of my power gave me an overall sense of our experience, including your attempt to leave. As time went on, I had this image in my mind of a red-headed friend named Alexis who was with us. Suffice it to say, we were all absolutely ashamed with ourselves that we forgot about you. But ever since then, I've spent all of my time and power trying to find a way to get you back. And how did you get me back? Andrew's attention falls to you. That is where Emma comes in. Yay! I have a great deal to thank you for. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. Do you know how I ended up in Elisor? That is a complicated question. When we all remembered Alexis, it wasn't as easy as going back to Elisor, finding her and bringing her back. As much as I wanted that to be an option, it would be very risky doing that from here. What I was able to do, however, was send things or items to Elisor one at a time. I tried small objects first, things like car tires, camping gear, things that people left around Rasili without claiming them. I even found a music amplifier at one point after a local band played at the pub nearby. I did this to test the range of my abilities from here, rather than trying to send me or our friends. It was too risky in case we ended up lost again. Anyway, after some time with no results, James was getting anxious and was offering to be sent to Elisor to find you. But there was one more thing that I was able to do that my power left me with. I had these visions, these glimpses of cause and effect. Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? I had these visions of results of certain actions. For example, I knew that if I sent James to Elisor on his own, I had a vision of him regaining his powers and losing track of the mission. It didn't result in us getting him or Alexis back safely. I had visions of sending Desmond, sending Roz, myself. But none of these resulted in a situation where we all ended up back home as a full group. So I started to entertain the idea of, what if we sent someone who had literally no connection with us at all, a completely random stranger, someone we could send who, despite whatever the butterfly effect, would never trace back to me or Alexis or any of us. And that's where you came in. You were holidaying in Rasili, just like us at the time. You were hiking and asked us for directions to Worm's Head Island. When you asked us the question, I had a new vision. A vision of you and Alexis standing in front of me now, and me explaining to you your purpose in all of this. When I had this vision, I felt sorry for you. I was signing you up to a task you never asked for. But at the same time, I was able to see your past. You were here for a reason, and I knew you were yearning for something new. Being in Elisor gave me a new perspective on life. Andrew nods silently. I hope this answers your question. To summarize, I chose you to help us because you were so remarkably disconnected to us. You were the best option to bring Alexis back without significant setbacks to the timelines. What do you know about the mysterious cave? What mysterious cave? It was where I found Alexis, and there were statues that represented you and your friends there. Honestly, I don't know. I know about Rasili and Elisor. I never came across a mysterious cave with statues. I think where Alexis found herself was in a sort of between space. My guess is that the Amulet of Power and Tea of Invisibility put her out of Elisor or Rasili into a place of her own construction. Perhaps the statues of us represent her lost memories. You helped her remember, and she found a way through to the other side. I'd like to ask something else? You should probably know that I have been reading your diary. Gosh, I'd almost forgotten about that. Did you ever write about Alexis in there? Of course. I wrote about all of our friends and our experiences in Illusaur. I'd be quite curious to read it over again, to be honest. It's strange. I did not see any reference to Alexis anywhere. Just James, Roz, Desmond, and yourself. No one in Illusaur knew her name either. Andrew strokes his chin, thinking. Alexis removed herself from time in Illusaur by drinking the invisibility tea and using the necklace. I suspect that created a version of Illusaur where she didn't exist, meaning I would never have written about her. The Illusaur that you have spent your time in is the Illusaur where Alexis doesn't exist. Not quite the same place that me and my friends experienced when we were there. Boy, this is just giving me a headache. This is giving me a headache just thinking about it. That's all my questions. What happens now? Well, the others are waiting. Alexis will want to see them and her family, and I'm sure she has more questions for us. As for you, I've been thinking about this whilst I've been waiting for you. I know my powers are dwindling, and I've been feeling it over the last few days. But I think there is one last thing I can do before I say goodbye to it, and it's for you. I don't know if you've managed to make a life in Illusaur or not. I know for James and Roz it was hard leaving all that behind. But we all know it's for the best to be back here where they belong. For you... Gosh. Dang it. I skipped. I'm glad you see it that way, Emma. I think it had the same effect on us too. Well, I think this is it, Emma. This is where I say goodbye. We'll probably hang around the Worm's Head pub for a while before heading back home. Feel free to pop by if you want some company. Thank you. Yay. And that's it. Yay, we finished Tales from the Dancing Moon. I'll just quickly run around. There's no map here. Let's have a look. Ah, that's the game. Tea recipes were useful. The tea of invisibility. And that's James. You're the king. I prefer it here. Didn't develop a power. Telekinesis would be a fun power. And Desmond. You should tell her as soon as possible to get the shock out of it. Alright, and that's all for Tales from the Dancing Moon. so that's going to be all for that. I will be back in about 20 minutes with Wasteland 3. So, yeah. And I'll have a new schedule set up for now that Tales from the Dancing Moon is done. Wonderful. All right. Well, take care of yourselves, everybody, and I will be back in 20 minutes. Bye-bye.